Dubai Summer Surprises is in full swing now and there are loads of deals to grab. Smart Shopping tells you what you can buy where and what's the latest in the stores out there. I am Vitika and let's see what we'll be shopping for today. The art of coffee making, new writing instruments, and a wondrous journey. Making a good cup of coffee is an art, and if you want to master this art, then you need to shop for a course which will make you a good barista. Smart Shopping has just the right place for you. Everyone likes a good cup of coffee and nothing like making a good cup of coffee at home. So where do you get trained? Well, there is an institute in Dubai called IICBT where I'm standing right now and I have the director with me, David Thomas. Welcome to the show, David.
Thank you very much.
David, first of all, what is IICBT? What do you do?
In IICBT, I think the name when you read through, it says International Institute of Coffee and Barista Training.
All right, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Okay.
But on the longer term, if you look at it, eventually we focus from coffee training into a catering and business technology.
What are the courses available that one can shop for?
You could do art of coffee making, which is purely learning about how to make a good cup of cafe latte, cappuccino, or the basic coffee areas.
All right.
Then you could go through the advanced sector, which is more into the coffee franchising element. Then you go to the next level where you would get into more of commercialization, which is coffee management, cafe management. So in theory, for an entrepreneur who comes into Dubai and says, look, I want to open a coffee chain, they got the money, they pick up a chain, they get all this skill that is needed, comes along with it. But in theory, do you really know about it? So therefore come down to a course of cafe management, which in theory takes you about 5 weekends.
And what is the period of your courses? Like, do they last 5 months, a year, 2 weeks?
No,
what
it's
is
never
it?
that far. I mean, our core competence here is to make sure the employee gets to learn soft skills.
Okay.
So don't go for 3 years of coffee training to become a pro into that. In order to make sure, do you know all about coffee to an extent? Do you get the opportunity to work on the machine and feel exactly what it is? Therefore, when you walk into a cafe chain, whoever hires them, in theory, they have a basic knowledge to put together. So the course starts, it's all in man hours. So I would say the basic skill would start something between 12 hours, the base minimum. Extends up to 2 weeks, so 60 man hours.
All right. Do you also help out in placements, like for barista training? If I've done it here, will you help us?
We do. I mean, we are not placement agency as such, but when people come to know that, look, you got any good trained resources available, our objective is to create employment as well. For locally, people are walking around looking for an employment, but with the skill knowledge.
Now, tell me, what is the price range of your courses?
The basic range starts at 400 dirhams to the top end of 5,000 dirhams.
Why should I come to IICBT to train myself in barista training or coffee making skills? Why IICBT? Why not any other place?
Because we are the only one institute available in the entire region. Nobody else teaches you to make a good cup of coffee. We have 5-star deluxe hotels participating because they have this notion we know everything in coffee, but eventually they don't. If they know everything in coffee, the customer wouldn't go to the branded cafes in town. So therefore, we have the skill of training in that element. So your employee, if you trained here, they know how to produce a good cup of coffee for the hotel guest, number one. Number two, in the franchise cafes. You can open a cafe and sit down there and say, it's not working very well because the employee is never trained. So trained employee is the way forward in this country. So if they don't invest in the employee, forget about even making money. And therefore the employee should know what they are really learning
and
where they get trained them. So we train them on that element. We also conduct a lot of corporate events. People go for paintball shooting and whatever. I think it's more fun element to come down and make a good cup of coffee, feel about it. So the huge team building exercise happens on corporate events as well. And therefore you could cater that to the next level at home and make a good cup of coffee.
Exactly. So quite a few reasons to come to IICBT, and I think even I'm going to try how to make a good cup of coffee, and I'm probably going to get trained in about whatever
don't
time
open
we
another
have.
training institute.
No, I won't. Don't worry.
You go around and say, now I know how to make a good cup of coffee, so we'll open a training institute,
No.
And no, I mean, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, but thank you so much, David,
Pleasure,
for telling us all about it. So So now I think I'm ready to get trained by Radhi, who's a barista trainer here, and she's going to teach me how to make a cup of coffee. Radhi, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I don't know anything about how to make a good cup of coffee, so where do we start?
Okay, everything starts from the grinder. First, we need to have fresh coffee beans.
Right. So here
If
we
you
have
see,
that.
we need to have the right grind size,
Okay.
and we
It
need
should be
to
very soft.
yes, fine,
Okay.
fine grind size, and we need to have the right amount of coffee.
Okay.
Okay, which is between 7 to 9 grams. The grinder can dispense.
Okay.
And now we're going to make cappuccino.
Okay.
Which is espresso, 1/3 espresso, 1/3 foam milk, and 1/3 steam milk.
Okay.
Very important is to warm up the cup before the extraction.
Okay.
And we can press the button.
Okay. And now it gets made on its own, is it?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so we're ready
once
with
that's out.
our espresso.
Uh-huh.
And now, very important is how we're going to froth the milk.
Okay.
Important thing is when we start everything to be cold. Cold
okay.
frothing jug,
Okay.
cold milk,
All right.
and it's very important to monitor the temperature.
All right.
We have to stop the frothing process when the temperature reaches 140 degrees Fahrenheit. There, so we immediately
Put it down.
stop the frothing process. Get rid of the bubbles.
So here's a good cup of cappuccino.
Yes.
What are the key things to keep in mind while you're doing this? Of course, the temperature.
The temperature, the calibration of the grinder, and of course you have to make it from the heart.
Great. Thank you so much, Radhi, for telling me how to make a cup of coffee and what are the key things to keep in mind. You can win free courses from IICBT. For that, come back right after